Breaking news to discuss involving Lamelo Ball, MB1, the one of one. Listen, we got a new career high. Listen, Lamelo put up a 50 ball. This is unbelievable. Lamelo continues to prove that he is one of the best players in the NBA. I'm guaranteeing you right now, Lamelo Ball should be an all-star starter. If anything is less, it should be uncivilized. They went up against Dame Dollar. I know they lost, but Lamelo Ball was the most electrifying player on the basketball floor, and it wasn't even close. Obviously, there's a lot of respect between Giannis and LaMelo. They exchanged jerseys, this, that, and the third. LaMelo even was getting into it a little bit with the Nassers today. Obviously, when I'm looking at the Nassers courtside, all I could think about is Lamelo Ball, G3G honcho, but that's another story for another day. Let's get to it, man. The Charlotte Hornets, they could have very well just let the game roll, but they fought, in this game. They almost took it away from the Milwaukee Bucks. I think this game proves that the Bucks is just one big joke. It was a reason why they was an afterthought all off season. Everybody was talking about this team, that team, before they got to the Milwaukee Bucks. Lamelo Ball tonight, back to the stat line. 50 points. He shot 17 from 38 from the field, 16, 17 from three-point range, 5 rebounds, 10 assists, a steal. All of this was done in 40 minutes. This proves also, again, obviously we want to try to move on from the Charles Lee dynamic, but this proves again why Charles Lee made a terrible mistake. Just because a guy has had, it looks like he's not, clicking offensively, that doesn't mean you pull a guy like LaMelo out of the game. This guy's too explosive, for this kind of buffoonery, this kind of foolishness to take place. I love, what I'm seeing from LaMelo Ball, man, his electric, nature. This guy's doing it from all three levels. When you're discussing the three-point range, the mid-range, attacking the basket, he's getting his points at the line. He hit a couple of shots tonight where I just couldn't believe that the shit went in. I just got to keep it all the way 100 with you. LaMelo Ball, man, he's healthy. He's proven why he won the Rookie of the Year. You can't tell me Anthony Edwards is playing better than LaMelo Ball. You can't tell me Tyrese Halliburton is playing better than LaMelo Ball. But it's just unfortunate. I highlight those two players because they was in his same draft class. LaMelo has dealt with some injuries. Obviously his team is not, up to par. But they do have Brandon Miller, who I believe is probably a year or two away from, being that player that everybody believes he's going to be. Obviously the center position for Charlotte is ridiculous. They lost Grant Williams today. That's a very serious injury, it looks like. We're going to get into that, so make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to Flight Sports because we're going to be breaking news on that. So it's just a tough thing that's happening right now with the Charlotte Hornets. But I've said this before and I'll say it again. LaMelo Ball has seized complete control over the Charlotte Hornets organization, ladies and gentlemen. And Charles Lee, he did attach himself, to the success of LaMelo. LaMelo put up 50 tonight. Charles, people gonna think that did Charles push this? Now he putting up career highs and doing this, but they still lost. But from a Hornets standpoint, I like how they went on like an epic 10-something run, to close that quarter. The fourth quarter, they cut it to, I believe, 2. Miller was electric. Miller and LaMelo. Obviously, we continue to get caught up with everything LaMelo is doing because it's just magical at this point. But what's going on with Brandon Miller, to me, is very, very telling, in my humble opinion. Brandon Miller tonight, he has proven that he can play alongside Melo. He put up 32 points tonight. He was the second scorer for this basketball team. The only person outside of him who put up some points was Josh Green with 11. Other than that, people just chipped in when they could chip in. Grant Williams had 8, Cody had 6, T. John had 6, Taj had 4. Curry came in with 2. So that's what they had, and they went up against a team in the Milwaukee Bucks who's 8-9. People look at them as, obviously a lot more ahead in a developmental situation than what's going on with the Hornets. Dame only put up 31 tonight. Giannis had 32. They almost screwed this game up. There's no other way to slice. What the Charlotte Hornets almost did. It's crazy. I do know that the Hornets, they got to start getting some dubs. In my humble opinion, it's time to. You can't have these losses accumulating in the column. Obviously, we love the Hornets. They got the Orlando Magic on Monday. I think that's a winnable game for them. They have to do something. And they're going to have to build. Could I have to dig a little deeper, because they need more reinforcements. This puts more pressure on Taj Gibson. It seems to be just Lamelo, and Melo is stepping up his consistent play, because that's the only thing I had with Melo. Melo, you see the flashes of superstardom, but how consistently can he affect us for Melo? Because Melo's going to need him, But what I will say is this, man, you've seen all of this from LaMelo going back to Chino Hills, so now that he's a member of the Charlotte Hornets, it's not surprising that you're seeing these kind of numbers, these kind of explosive, games. And I want to highlight the 10 assists because it wasn't just Melo going out and getting his. He was an elite point guard in the midst of dropping 50. That's what I'm saying. We ain't used to seeing things like this. Let's get in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen. Let's discuss what was some of your, biggest bright spots, from this game. What was LaMelo's best moments? Was there anything that may have been missed? What was the key points to you in this game? Melo kind of just went off. Like in that third quarter was just crazy. That second quarter, I think he just made his second field goal in the second quarter. That's what I'm saying. He really just went off out of nowhere, and it's just like I said, before you know it, this guy was creeping up on 50. I was like, yo, is Melo about to drop 50? Because he was at like 41 and it was like it was a decent amount of time on the clock. And I'm like, yo, Melo about to go for 50. I didn't know if he was going to do it, but I thought they may have pulled all the starters, and brought in the bench, but they clearly did not do that, and I'm going to leave it at that, y'all. It's Flight Sports TV. You already know what it is. We got more breaking news on Lamelo Ball. Make sure you hit the like button and most definitely hit the subscribe button. It's Flight Sports TV.